Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Cameron, your host for today's show on a Crypto Monday news update. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what are some of the hottest topics going on right now in the crypto ecosystem. Let's get it. That's right, I remembered. I had to do a little research really quick, but Coinbase has been in a legal battle with the S.E.C. and the CFTC. Okay, that's the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Okay, so remember, this is going back to Coinbase was going to roll out a lending product, and the S.E.C. did not like that as well, and some of the other assets that are located on Coinbase's exchange, the CFTC is saying that they are, or they can be securities, which would put them under the regulation of not just the S.E.C. but also the CFTC, although Coinbase has failed to register with the CFTC at all, it sounds like. Based on this article, right here from Reuters, that came out back in, I hate all these ads that they have on here, September 28th, okay? So it's still this year, but late September, okay? And, so there's just been some back and forth right now with these different agencies that are looking at Coinbase. So again, remember, the industry is still, although it is very regulated, we still have, unfortunately, a patchwork of laws and regulations across the U.S., and that's what we really need. I believe personally, in my own opinion, where the U.S. has to do a better job when it comes to regulation around all of the new innovation going on in finance, right? Specifically blockchain, crypto, but just in broader, right? Government moves slow, but it's already been too long for the government to not step in now and have some, at least the S.E.C. Like, we just got the first Bitcoin ETF futures. It's an ETF, but it's based on Bitcoin futures. That was just passed by the S.E.C. Okay, the first ETF. What ETF now? What's gonna happen when, let's say, BlackRock gets involved? These guys have like almost $10 trillion in assets under management or something. It's crazy. Okay, think it if just BlackRock put 1% of all of their assets under management into Bitcoin. 1%. You're talking about almost doubling the market cap for Bitcoin at that point, because if BlackRock does it, man, everyone's going to get in there. So, I mean, it's coming. The laws are coming. It's coming. It's just, government is just taking way too long. So, anyways, Coinbase, let's see what happens going next year with a lot of this regulation. And Biden is also is looking at putting a new Fed chair as well next year. So it's going to be crazy, hectic. I mean, 2022 is going to be crazy when it comes to some new laws and regulations. And let's just see where the momentum goes. So, on to the next. Okay. Also, other news this week. Remember, we were just talking about the government, right? And the S.E.C. So, the S.E.C. back at it again. Let's roll right into it. Okay. And here's an article from Reuters. Going back to the S.E.C. This is, man, VanEck has been going so long to figure out, to try to work with the S.E.C. to get their ETF going, okay? VanEck has been at this for like 2 years now, okay? U.S. S.E.C. disapproves proposed rule to list trade shares of VanEck Bitcoin Trust. This is just, the S.E.C., they just allowed an ETF for Bitcoin futures, and they still have not allowed VanEck to go ahead with their ETF. It's just crazy, it's insane, but let's figure out why. And this is my point, okay? It says right here, this is per the S.E.C. The commission applies the same standard used in its orders considering previous proposals to list Bitcoin-based commodity trust and Bitcoin-based trust issued receipts, that it must be designated to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices, the S.E.C. said in its order. The commission concludes that BZX has not met its burden. That is the exchange that it was going to be listed at. So It's crazy. It's saying that this company still has not done anything to protect the investors from fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices, which I think is crazy. Okay, how have they not? All right, the agency has not stopped futures-based Bitcoin ETFs from going forward, though. That's the thing. It even mentions that in the article. Just recently, I forget that specific company and that specific manager and a specific ETF, but yes, a Bitcoin ETF, its futures base has just been launched. But somehow VanEck has been trying for 2 years and still cannot get their the clearing to go forward. What's going on here? So, long story short, basically the S.E.C. is just saying, they basically want a rule change to where the agency allows, an information sharing agreement with CBOE and VanEck. So basically they want to obtain information necessary to detect, investigate, and deter fraud and market manipulation, as well as violations of exchange rules and applicable federal securities laws, the S.E.C. has said in its order. I'm going to take you directly to the article itself. So let's see here. That's what it is saying. And reminder, right here, any future adoption of a Bitcoin ETF by S.E.C. Chair Gary Gensler could be a key for mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies as it would allow financial institutions and retail traders to gain exposure without having to invest directly. Okay, so there's huge demand out there for Bitcoin, but people don't want to have to do, the holding of the asset, right? And I think that's really where everyone is going. And the hardcore maximalists, just an opinion, are gonna say, hey, if you don't have the Bitcoin in your wallet, in your own personal wallet, it's not yours. I get it, but you have to take a step back. Not everyone wants to own this digital gold. Okay, some people just want to hold it in a portfolio like they hold the S&P 500, and you have to understand that's also a need where I think most of the growth is going to come from, in my personal opinion. But anyways, that's your weekend. This is your Monday weekend, your Monday update for cryptocurrency. I'm gonna talk to you all soon. Stay safe and get your gains on.